Today I wanted to talk about New Year's resolutions or New Year's goals or whatever you want to call it. For this year, 2021, I'm not setting specific goals. I'm not setting the goal of finishing my degree, which I will probably do, but that's not part of my New Year's resolution. I'm not setting the goal to work out every single day. I'm not setting the goal to journal every single day. I'm doing none of that. Simply because last year was harsh enough, and this year I wanted to focus on softness. I wanted to focus on habits and systems that help me get through the year as best as I can, feeling as mentally and emotionally well as I can. So I wanted to introduce softer habits and softer systems into the year and into my daily life that do help me on the journey to achieving my bigger goals that I always have every single year. But they're not specifically there to achieve a goal. They're here to make me feel good. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I do think it's important to have goals. I'm not saying don't have any. If you want to make New Year's resolutions, that's also amazing. I personally have bigger goals that I want to achieve in the nearby future and also in the further away future. But simultaneously, I wanted to have habits and systems in place this year that don't have anything to do with my goals for the future. Habits and systems that have something to do with the present and me feeling good right here and right now. Me feeling centered and grounded and grateful and like I can enjoy my life right here and right now. I wanted to introduce systems and habits that are not an extra job on top of what I'm already doing. Systems and habits that remind me to be softer with myself. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. So the very first thing I wanted to talk about was to become aware of 3 things every single day that you're grateful for in yourself. I think we all know about gratitude journaling and gratitude lists and so forth, and a lot of times when we start gratitude journaling, what we'll do is say, I'm grateful for having a roof over my head, grateful for the food I have, grateful for the people in my life, grateful for whatever else you could be grateful for in your life. There are so many things to be grateful for. But I think oftentimes I personally tend to neglect the things in myself that I am grateful for. So what I would write down in the morning, for example, or at night would be, I'm grateful for my patience today. I'm grateful for this thing I accomplished. I'm grateful that I worked out today because it really helped me feel better. I'm grateful that I was kind to myself today. Things like that, where I am appreciating myself, tend to make me feel better. It tends to lead to more self-compassion in myself and gratitude for myself and love for myself ultimately and understanding. So those things are extremely valuable, and they also help you see the growth you're doing throughout every single day and throughout the year, personal or spiritual growth. And I think that's really, really important to keep track of where you are and where you're going with yourself and how you're treating yourself as well. So this, I think, is a really, really valuable habit to set in place. In line with this, I also wanted to talk about being softer with yourself in general as a second habit to set into place. What I mean by that is last year was harsh, and this year won't be easy either. No year ever is. And I want to start giving myself a bit more slack. I don't want to sit here and berate myself for not working as much as usual if I'm going through something tough. If the world is being tough, we're still in the middle of a pandemic, so working as usual is just a very unrealistic goal for me. And I don't want to sit here and say you have to read this and that many books this year and accomplish this and that, and if you don't, you're a failure. I want to be softer with myself. So if I ever catch myself talking negatively, if I ever catch myself feeling like a failure or not meeting up to my own perfectionist standards, I want to be able to sit down and journal or meditate and extend softness towards myself like I would to anyone else as well. I want to extend understanding toward myself and give myself a loving, helping hand throughout the year. There is absolutely no need for any of us to have it together all the time, for us to read 100 books a year, for us to work out every single day, for us to be productive all the time and at all times. Life is cyclical, seasons come and go, energy levels come and go, and I want to understand that and work according to my own energy levels, work according to the seasons of my life. I don't want to expect for myself to be on the same level of productivity, on the same level of happiness, or on the same level of energy all the time. I don't want to have to expect linear growth for myself either. I want to be able to accept and be soft with myself for the way that I work, which is cyclical. Energy levels rising up and down, productivity going up and down, as it should, as it does, and I want to have compassion for that. The third thing that kind of goes into the first two habits is to get enough sleep. Preferably every single day, but again, compassion and softness. So if I don't manage to get enough sleep, that's also something to be understanding about. I probably didn't get enough sleep for a very good reason if I don't, because sleep is very important to me, so I do make an effort. But I want to sleep more this year than I did last year. I tend to be very good about having quite the stable sleep schedule. I know that for some people that's an issue, so if you can't uphold a steady sleep schedule, first of all, be understanding with yourself. It makes sense that last year you didn't have a normal sleep schedule, considering the circumstances. But that could be one of your habits for this year, is to really pay attention to your sleep schedule and pay attention to what it does for you if you do sleep well. Because I think if you start realizing how good it feels and how much better your life goes when you do sleep well, your body will automatically start telling you to go to sleep earlier. I think a while ago on TikTok I saw a video by this dude who makes calisthenics videos. I will try to find the video and link it down below, or find the creator and link it down below, but he was asked if you could have a rule that has to be upheld in the entire world, where people either have to get enough sleep every single day or exercise every single day. Which rule would you like for people to follow? And he obviously has an account where a lot of his content is centered around exercise, but he said, I'd rather people sleep well every single night than that people exercise every single day. That seems to be more important for having a happy and satisfying and healthy life. And I totally agree with him. So sleeping enough this year, sleeping enough 2021, I think is a valuable goal to have and a valuable habit to have. The fourth thing I wanted to talk about was to give your mind time to wander. I think this is incredibly important, something that I didn't do enough of last year, so that's what I want to change. Giving your mind time to wander is time to reconnect with yourself, to reconnect with what you want to do in life, to reconnect with your most dominant thought patterns, recognize them and be able to either appreciate them or work on them. Letting your mind wander is so inspirational. It makes you more creative. It calms you down. It relaxes me so much. And I don't mean for myself this year to sit there and daydream for like 3 hours a day, but I do want to give myself time off the screen, and not reading, not listening to music, not listening to podcasts, just silence and me, but not trying to like meditate and like focus on my breath or do a visualization or anything, but just sitting there in silence and just thinking and letting my mind run, because sometimes it just needs that. And it really always, it's almost like it cleanses my entire system. Instead of trying to suppress rampant thoughts and instead of trying to get away from myself, I want to try to get closer to myself by letting my mind wander. So a way to kind of incorporate that into my daily systems is to wake up and just have 10 minutes, maybe even time 10 minutes, where I just lie around and I do nothing. And if my mind wants to think in those 10 minutes, it wants to think, and if it doesn't, that's also cool. But I give myself the opportunity to not have anything else to do but to sit there and be with myself. And there's absolutely no pressure to be in the present moment, no pressure to get up and check out what I need to do for the day, no pressure on anything. And I want to do the same thing again 10 minutes before I go to bed. Whatever works for you, obviously figure out how that could work for you. But I think that's extremely valuable, and I also hope that this will help me a little bit with my writing as well, because every single time I sit down and give my mind time to wander, after a while I will want to start writing something, be it poetry or an essay or just some thoughts, and what comes out of those silent moments with just myself is always so beautiful and valuable, so I want to incorporate that more into my life. And the last thing that I think would hugely contribute to us living healthy and living a little bit more of a happier and compassionate and softer year would be to find soft and easy movement every single day. Soft, easy movement could be taking a short walk around the block. It could be taking a walk in your own house. I don't know, putting circles into your carpet. It could mean yoga. That's what it usually is for me. And it could also mean a quiet stretching routine after your workouts. Just something that gets you moving, but that is soft and reminds you to be in your body. Something that is meditative and something that gets my muscles going without me trying to get stronger or me trying to get more flexible or me trying to get anywhere. It's purely about finding movement that feels good for me in that moment and that helps me feel present in my body. And I think that's really, really important. As Yoga with Adrian would say, get the juices flowing. So for me, how I want to incorporate that is to actively stand up and go outside every hour or so between studying when I do my breaks, and to move, be that a little bit of stretching or a downward dog or just intuitive yoga flows, whatever that means in that moment. But I want to incorporate that multiple times throughout the day as a break instead of being stuck on my screen and stuck on my chair or my bed all the time. Lord knows we need a little bit more movement during the pandemic, because I'm legit not leaving my house most of the time. That's also another thing. The pandemic is still a thing, so please wash your hands. Adhere to the rules. If that means you have to stay at home because there's a lockdown, please do. There's no need to extend the duration of the lockdowns. So please be mindful, be careful, and be safe. But yeah, I hope these things help you. I hope this might inspire you to find your own softer habits for 2021 so you can take care of yourself in the best way possible, so you can feel your best and have energy to get through the year and have a good year too. Because you can. And this year will be tough. It will be, but we can be here for each other and we can have systems to help us stay afloat. So don't forget to take care of yourselves. If you need support during the year at any time, I do have a Soul Tribe group on Telegram that you can join. Any information about that group you can find down below in the description box, and that's also where you'll find the link to join that. And yeah, that's about everything I have to say. If you have any habits or goals that you want to achieve in 2021, and you want to keep yourself accountable or just share, please leave them down in the comments below. I would love to read them. And I'll see you again very, very soon. Stay safe. Bye.